Hi everyone and welcome to Mel's Yarniverse. Coming up in this video, I review the Creative Place yarn collection from Aldi, both the super chunky acrylic and the polyester baby yarn. I do a quick swatch just to see how it works up, and I'll tell you whether I think it's worth the price. I thought I'd make this quick video as I found out my local Aldi would be selling some new yarn which I've never used before. So as you can see here in the catalogue, they were advertising 3 different types of yarns. One was an acrylic knitting yarn, one was a baby acrylic yarn, and the other was a 100% acrylic super chunky yarn. So I jumped in the car and drove around to our local Aldi, and when I got there, they didn't have any of the acrylic knitting yarn at all, which I later found out was due to a delay in the shipping. So hopefully that will arrive at some point. I did try 2 other locations in my area, but those stores didn't have any either. So again, it's been delayed. Hopefully that will show up at a later date. So fingers crossed for that. They did have the baby yarn and the super chunky, which is fantastic. However, the baby yarn was not acrylic as advertised. It's actually polyester, which was slightly disappointing. But let's check it out and see how it feels. So I thought I would start with the super chunky. Let's have a look at some of that. So I ended up purchasing 2 balls. This gorgeous green, it's like a fern green colour. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually say what the colour is on the label. The only information you really get is that it's the Creative Place Super Chunky 100% acrylic yarn. It's 3-ply, which essentially means there are 3 strands woven together to make the yarn. So you can see here, and unfortunately it does separate very easily. So I'm a little bit concerned that it's going to split quite a bit while I'm actually crocheting with it. So that's a bit of a concern. Unfortunately, I can't test it at the moment because the biggest size hook that I have is only a 10 mil. I don't have a 12, and I feel like something this size. I'll just grab the hook and show you. So that's my 10 mil. It's not really a great hook, and it's an inline hook, and I usually work better with tapered hooks. But even so, it doesn't really fit as well as I would hope for crocheting. So I think I need to buy a bigger hook. Oh no, that's going to be terrible, isn't it? Having to buy a new hook for this before I can really test it out, but I can tell you that the feel is actually really soft. So considering it's 100% acrylic, there's no wool blended into it. It is just acrylic, which some people can find quite rough. I prefer to use acrylic, so I love looking for the different textures and the different feels of acrylic yarns, and this feels actually quite soft. I think it's going to make a beautiful beanie or a scarf. Not really sure exactly what I'm going to make with it just yet, but I had to buy it because it just looks so beautiful and it feels so soft. So that's the fern green. Well, I think it's fern green anyway. And this I bought was the grey. It looks like a mix of a grey and a white sort of blended together, which I think goes really well with the green. If you've got any recommendations or any thoughts on what you think I might be able to make with this, please by all means let me know because I'm very open to ideas. The one thing I did notice about the labels is that it doesn't say on any part of the label that I can see anyway outwardly what size hook you need, and it doesn't have any other information about the yarn itself. It's just got the Aldi guarantee and the replacement information on the back there, and that's about it. That's all that's on there. So unless, grab a pair of scissors, let's have a look. Anything on the back? Nope. So there's no real information there. So I guess what you're going to have to do if you do purchase some of this is just have a bit of a play, have a bit of a feel of it, see what kind of hooks, what size hooks that you have that may fit with it. As I said, I've got my 10 here and I think that's just too small. I think it's going to need to be, you can see it doesn't really quite sit in the groove of the hook quite comfortably. I think I'm going to need a bigger hook. So 10's not going to work for me. It is quite large. I hope you can see the quality of that there. It is quite beautiful. It's very soft. But as I said, the strands are quite loosely woven, so that may be an issue with splitting and catching on the hooks. But when I get a chance to use it, I'll definitely come back to you and show you what I think. Let's review the baby yarn. So firstly, I just want to mention they are beautiful. The colours are just stunning. So I bought this beautiful light baby blue colour. Again, it doesn't list on the label what the actual colours are. It doesn't have any other information other than it's 100 grams of 100 polyester. So again, there's not a lot of information there about hook sizes or any other information about the yarn itself. I will cut the label off again just to double check that there's nothing on the back. Yep, no information there at all, but that's okay. I didn't purchase it for that. It was mainly because of the colours and the feel of the yarn. It's actually really quite soft. I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can see how tightly woven that is and how soft it is. Just as a comparison, here's some Bella Baby chenille from Spotlight. Again, the chenille is a little softer, but it's very loose. It's very loosely attached to the yarn itself. So you can see there's like the main yarn at the bottom there that the fluffy chenille is attached to, and that comes off and leaves lots of fluff all over your workspace, all over the floor. People who use chenille know exactly what I'm talking about. It goes everywhere, makes a lot of mess, and for me, it tangles really easily, so I don't really like using chenille, to be honest. It's not my favourite yarn to use at all. But in terms of softness, it is a bit softer than the baby yarn from Aldi. But the feel of this yarn, it's a lot more tightly woven, and it doesn't, like, even just pulling on it, it's not shedding at all, which is fantastic. The other yarn that I can compare to is the baby blanket yarn from Lincraft. This is the Maker Baby Blanket. And again, it's much more tightly woven. It's a lot softer. And again, all three of these yarns are all polyester. So I'm comparing polyester to polyester. And I can say with quite a bit of confidence that the Aldi yarn is just lovely. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's going to be amazing to work with. So I'll just go back to the colours that I purchased. So I got the baby blue. They've got a gorgeous mint green. That's just stunning. I think the two of those will go together beautifully. I bought some pink and also some peach, a little apricot peach there. So I think all four of these colours work really well together, and I'm looking forward to making some amazing amigurumis with this. But they also had a couple of other variegated yarns, and both of these are just stunning. So the colours in this, the blues, the purples and the greens, all go together really well. And it's just lovely. The quality is just beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to working with this. And then we've got the rainbow over here. And again, just the pastels that all flow together beautifully. I can't wait to see this all crocheted up. It's going to look fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that. So I think maybe what I might do is make a couple of amigurumis. So I like the look of this sea turtle here. Or maybe I might make one of these sleepy dragons. Or maybe one of these fluffy bunnies. If you have any ideas or recommendations for me on what you think you might like to see this yarn used for, by all means leave a comment down below. I'm more than happy to respond, and I'm always open to suggestions. So please let me know what you think and what you might like to see me make with this. So I couldn't wait to use it, and I felt like I needed to get started. So I'm just going to work up a quick chain using this baby yarn. I felt like I needed to do something with it straight away. I'd like to see how it works up. So I'm just going to do a quick chain. So far, it is quite soft. Doesn't seem to be any problems with it catching. Remembering that I'm just chaining, so I'm trying to keep it quite loose, which is difficult for me because my tension is normally quite tight. But it seems to be chaining up quite well. I just want to test a couple of single crochets. Yeah, no, that seems to be coming up beautifully. Can imagine quite a few little amigurumis coming together quite nicely using this. So I can definitely recommend it for that. The stitches are all quite even. There's no shedding. It's not splitting or catching on the hook, which is always a plus. It doesn't feel like it's going to rip apart or shed all over the floor. Like, as you can see, I'm pulling on that quite hard and there's nothing shedding. There's nothing on the desk. So that's a bonus. And it's working up really nicely. That's really soft. Bit of stretch in it, which is good. But yeah, I feel like that's gonna work up quite well. So in conclusion, what did I think about the yarn? Obviously the baby yarn was the only one I was able to test today, but the quality and the feel of that, as well as the beautiful colours, absolutely recommend it. That was only $1.99 Australian. So we'll put the conversion up on screen for you for our American friends. But yeah, for nearly $2 a ball, that's just brilliant. I'm really impressed with the quality and I can't wait to start working with that. Again, if you've got any suggestions or ideas for how I can use it, by all means, please leave a comment and I'll read that for sure. The Super Chunky, I cannot wait to get into that. I love my acrylics, so I'm sure that's going to work up beautifully. I'm just going to have to go out and get a new hook. The Super Chunky was $4.99, so $5 Australian. Is it worth it quality-wise and considering the price? Absolutely, absolutely. 280 grams, I believe. 280 grams per ball of the Super Chunky. And we had 100 grams each of the baby yarn. So again, $2 for the baby yarn, $5 for the Super Chunky. Absolutely brilliant quality and amazing value for money. Would I buy that again? Absolutely. If you've got an Aldi near you, run out and stock up as much as you can and you won't regret it. Thanks for watching and I will catch up with you in the next one. Thanks, guys.